أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. Now, the talk tonight is not a specific talk. It's going to be just a family-oriented type of talk. We had a gathering, so we just want to talk about family, inshallah. The importance of marriage, the ruling of it, polygamy. We just want to get into a few different affairs, just trying to build the community and keep the community together and everything. Now,
who wants to start?
Any questions? Anybody want to start anywhere?
Nah, you can start with what you were saying about rectifying
the old life.
Yeah. Moving right into marriage.
No, so we was just discussing basically that one should, when they come into Islam, work on himself first and foremost. Him or her working on themselves first and foremost. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He commanded us that when we enter Islam, wholeheartedly, udkhulu Islam fissilni kafa. Enter it wholeheartedly, enter it all the way, not halfway. And we can't enter it all the way until we understand its laws. We understand is that which is haram, that which is halal, that which is mubah. We have to understand the rulings of it before we, say we all the way in it. So we have to learn. So the importance of the religion is learning the things about the religion and everything. And taking everything serious, step by step, and taking everything serious, though. And not rushing to.
No, go ahead. I got a question when you're ready.
Now, not rushing to, just fulfilling desires within a religion, because our religion is an easy religion, and it calls to things that, it may benefit a man, and it also may benefit a woman financially. So it ain't just about the benefit that one may just get within a religion, but knowing that you're doing everything for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and making your intentions purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet he informed us with that. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَىٰ فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا أَوْ امْرَأَةٍ يَنكِحُهَا فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. He mentioned to us that in the hadith of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, that's recorded muttafaqun alayhi, he mentioned to us that verily that the intention of the individual, this is one of the most important the most important things that one can do before he does the action is that he intends to do something. He intends good or he intends evil by it. So, looking into your intentions and looking into your heart, this is the most important thing that one can do before doing the action, even after the action, even during the action. Imam Shafi'i said this is the thing that he struggled with most was the intention. So the Prophet he informed us that if you make your intention solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger, then your intention, your reward will be based on Allah and His Messenger. If you make it for...
No, keep going.
Now, if you make it for a woman hands in marriage or some type of worldly affairs, and that you would get, and then he said that you would get that which you intended. He didn't even tell you no reward that you would get for it, because in comparison of the intention and you intended it for something other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you intended for Allah, your reward is specifically for Allah and His Messenger. If it's for the dunya, it's just it's umum, it's general. You know what I mean? It's whatever you intended it for, that's all you're going to get. And then he didn't even mention what it is that you'll be rewarded for. If it will be a good thing or be even an evil thing, because you intended something other than, the face of Allah. So you intended something seeking other than the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Now I gotta open up with this. I want everybody to introduce themselves who we got up here. And I want to know if you're married, how long you've been married.
Yeah, my name is Abdul Halim. I've been married
Oh, better get it right.
About 6 years. And my marriage, other marriage with my other children's mom was about 8 years.
Okay. 6 years.
Yes.
Next, brother. Do. Just a brief introduction, and if you're married or single. And if so, single or married, how long?
This dude trying to promote me. I know you hear him, right? You see him, right? I said I want to go through love. I mean, little G, everybody know me. He trying to put me underneath the
Ooh,
gun.
he said everybody know him. That boy's
He trying to put me
famous.
underneath the gun, right? You see him, right?
That boy's famous.
But no, I'm single as of now. Inshallah ta'ala. With attention pretty soon. Mashallah.
Ooh, okay. H to the Izzo.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hamza. I'm single. It's like, nah.
Oh, I'm
I'm
telling.
Big joke, Halima. Married 22 years.
Ooh,
Very happy.
subhanallah.
Alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar.
Been married 4 years. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. Yeah, we heard that. Now we got some panel questions right now. These brothers ran too.
Brother East Bay, what's your status?
Assalamu alaikum. Easter Bay. Been married now about 12 years. God dang, that's a long time. 12 years. Still got 3 slots open. We'll hear that later. Okay. We want to ask some general questions. Now you opened up talking about the seriousness, understanding of what you're getting to as far as marriage. And we understand from an academic perspective in Islam, you're supposed to know what you're getting into when you're getting into something. You should become somewhat of an expert in it. What are some of the that you see in our community? Some of the things that are preventing us from a standpoint of increasing our marriages by having knowledge. What's going on with us? Why are we having so much divorce? What do you see? What's your opinion on it? Why are families so broken up? All right, keep this in mind. You talk about the transition of becoming a Muslim, and just because you become a Muslim doesn't mean everything's right. So are we suggesting people should maybe be seeking counseling, mental health, things of this nature?
Yeah, a lot of times we overlook the mental health aspect of things.
Oh yeah, let's get the mic. Give the whole thing to him.
A lot of times.
The whole thing, bro. Tap the mic first. Okay. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A lot of times we do avoid or we overlook, depression, and we overlook stress. And as men, we supposed to be not just those who are in control and authority over the woman, but those who are leaders. And how do we develop this leadership? So we should look to those that's above us in knowledge and in experience when it comes to marriages, when it comes to Islam. We should look to them. You know what I mean? And the ones who have professionalism when it comes to these situations. And when it comes to counseling and everything, yes, before marriage, we should definitely seek counseling. We should talk to the elders and stuff like that, and try to, see how we can make a marriage and start to build this family upon faith, and build this community upon faith and everything. But as far as having a full knowledge base, background in marriage and everything. No, I mean, at the end of the day, if one have desires, woman or man, and it's best that they try to curb it through, seeking the remedies that the Prophet ﷺ told us. He said fast. So fast that the Prophet ﷺ, don't be looking at woman, the woman, they don't be looking at men. Don't go into the places that's going to cause you to have those type of desires. This is the first step, try to avoid, any type of thing that's going to spark that desire. That way you can try to learn, you can try to benefit yourself while you're learning about the marriage and everything, while before you get into that state of intended, rectifying your heart and everything first, especially as a new Muslim. You should be learning and you should be trying to understand the concept of what it takes to be a man, because we come from a lifestyle that we wasn't raised with a lot of men. We wasn't raised with households that was, together. So, we should learn about the concept of marriage and how a man should be patient, how a man should be a leader, how a man should be empathetic, how he should be sympathetic, and not just what he should be.
Each of us talk, put it on actually. The sister said it's low and it's muffled. So just take our time, put it on and like that.
Okay, so I want you to think back on the question. We're talking about personal development, right?
No.
So when we're talking about developing families, So let's look at the smaller picture of it, developing the personal self. Now you gave us an example that you become Muslim, people go right into marriage, right? Without rectifying what they used to be before Islam.
Exactly.
So is it that in our community, we're not taking advantage of things such as therapy, getting ourselves evaluated, finding out what's going on with ourselves, issues that we had, especially as men?
No.
Are we afraid of this? What's going on? Have you guys thought about this? Have you guys taken examples from this and have yourselves sought help or something like that for your own issues?
Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Me personally, you said that's the best question you can ask, right? Have we rectified ourselves, right?
Yes.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون. Surely, but verily, upon the hearts is a run for what they used to earn. Did we hear that, right? What you used to earn.
Come on, bro. I want to hear all that preaching.
This ain't preaching.
I want to hear some real talk.
This is real talk. This is real talk. This is real talk. This is honestly real talk. I mean, because we sit here and we talk about marriage, but we have the Prophet said, upon the heart is a lump of flesh in the body, where if it's bad, the entire body's bad. If it's good, then the entire body is good, and that's the heart. That's the qalb.
Alhamdulillah. I get that. Go ahead.
So the major thing is, the problem is that we're not rectifying, like you said, we're not rectifying our own selves. We come in, we're following, majority of the time when we do marriage, we follow our nafs. Right? We think of that marriage is the first part of deen. Well, really the first part of deen is what? Seeking knowledge is obligatory for every Muslim man and every Muslim woman. A lot of times when you hear about our marriages, right? Because this is things I try to ask on Facebook all the time, right? Majority of the time when you hear about when marriages fail, they say that a man tried to manipulate knowledge on them. It becomes his land.
Can I say something real fast?
I'm with you.
I'm going to play the advocate here. I mean, we're throwing around these terms like knowledge and seek knowledge. That's such a general term. What kind of knowledge we talking about here?
Okay, if we're starting with that, we're talking about the fard. The fard is first you must know about your Lord.
All right, that's an individual thing you should be doing before you even get married.
Right,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about specifically why are you marrying somebody who doesn't even know how to practice Islam? So I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the nitty gritty about ourselves, about why it is when we get married, we can't stay married. What issues, when we say knowledge, what knowledge you talking about?
About knowledge of financial planning.
Not just that. What did the Prophet say that he was sent for? What did he sum up his whole mission for? What was it?
That's right. Yeah, that.
So we're talking about what is akhlaq? It's more than just adab.
Right. So when we speak of it's mannerism and how we treat the people, right, is one, right, and then let alone our families, right? Let alone our families. But again, like I said, so to me personally, because like we said, we're going to have open dialogue. The problem that we are having, what I see myself, we can debate rather is not, is that our Islam isn't intact.
All right, hold on one second. That's a big conversation. How about you? What's the problem you have?
I said we.
No. What's the problem that you have, and without getting into specifics, what's the problem that you're having that you think you might see reflected in another believer that you specifically yourself know, without getting into crazy things, but just in general things that, because you've been studying the deen for a long time, but be real about what things you discovered about maybe yourself, where you see that we as Muslim men specifically need to tackle.
Sabr.
Patience.
Okay. Patience.
What kind of patience with what?
Patience with ourselves for one. Self-reflection two.
Okay.
We're not acknowledging what issues we have before we come into these marriages.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
What kind of issues?
And if we're going to get into into dunya issues, one of the issues that we lack is trust as men. In our environment that we grew up in, we don't trust nothing. And it was praised for us not to trust anyone. We was taught that you can't trust a woman as far as you can throw her.
Okay.
Right? The only thing you can trust is your people and money.
Now we get somewhere.
That's right? What I'm talking about. That's the only thing we can trust, right? And when Islam talks differently about that, right? It speaks differently about that, right? We put dunya before anything. Any matters that we do, we still resort back to the streets in our aspects and reality, how we view things before we resort back to going what did the Prophet ﷺ do and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran.
Okay, so now I want to talk on that. You said we resort back to what we learned or what we knew of from the street, wherever you were raised, doesn't matter. So are we saying in comparison, we're unable to compare how we react to how the Prophet ﷺ would have reacted to something or how he would have acted towards something because we don't have knowledge of how the Prophet ﷺ's adab wa akhlaq was?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're talking about that general knowledge of just being a good person before any of the monumental knowledge of the deen and all this grandeur things, because some of us not on that level. We babies in this.
But here go the question: what is a good person? What is identified? Because if we don't have knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ, and that's seeking knowledge itself. It goes back to seeking knowledge of the religion. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? To obey him and then obey his messenger.
Okay.
So we got to know these two things. We're not intact with that, right? So it starts there, as you said. That's why I said that seeking knowledge is the main thing we got to know. Because in reality, we hear it all the time from the kuffar, right? I don't have to be Muslim if I'm a good person. What is a good person? Feeding the needy, right? Right? Feeding the needy, giving money when somebody asks. That's the idea of what a good person is in society today.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Talk to the mic, bro.
Can I ask a question about the realities of where we come from, who raised us, right? A lot of times with our trust issues, how many of us here, honestly, our trust issues we believe and we know stem from distrust of those who raised us or those who were around us, our mothers, our fathers. How many of us with trust issues can root it back to that?
I can say it's rooted back to that.
Okay.
I can vouch for you. For
Okay. Anybody else?
Hamza know my sister. I got 4 sisters, man.
Okay.
And I don't trust women because they was a handful.
They probably used to beat you up.
Oh no, it ain't beat me up.
Yes, they did.
I seen them run the best of the best men in the ground. You hear me? Cause they pretty light skinned with long hair.
You had you crying in the corner.
You know what I mean? You know, on top of that, but that's where my trust came from. My mom thought she was, she light skinned, nice curvy, she could get away with murder.
Right.
So, I always thought, man, look, I ain't gonna get ran by this. He ain't gonna run game on me like this.
Okay.
So we learn to manipulate women from women.
So we get down to the nitty gritty. That's what I'm talking about.
We learn to manipulate women from women.
It would just be trust, though. You know what I mean?
Go ahead. Let him get the mic. Who's getting good?
He ran had his sisters come down.
Sisters, I'm about to bring y'all mic upstairs.
I wouldn't think that I wouldn't say that it's just a trust issue though. I would say it's a issue on how we was raised though. Sometimes we wasn't raised with a family structured home, so we didn't have that blueprint.
So it's called dysfunction.
We had dysfunction in broken homes and growing
Yes.
up in these type of environments.
In comparison to what? What type of home? Because it's not just
A
about
functional and a structured
okay,
home.
what are we talking? What's functional?
I was about to say what's functional.
The Prophet's son was an orphan, so we can't. It ain't just about having both parents. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me hear what the brother got.
The people leaning on
What
that
kind of
joint.
function we talking about here?
Some people grew up with families, man.
Yes, let's go.
We talking like Islamic base function, because I grew up in a 2-parent household, great home, good mother, good father.
Mhm.
But the talk, my dad didn't have no talk with me about, sex or anything like that. It was just
Okay.
like woke up one day, condoms on my dresser.
No talk about
Yeah,
relationships.
just his talk was, have a lot of friends, do that kind of thing, protect yourself. And my mom's was more of the, you ain't gonna have more than one girl calling this house, but she died. So
Okay.
now it's like, okay, it's me and Pops. He like good household, good grandpa, good uncles,
What
money,
do you mean by good?
good. Like I wasn't in poverty. Like
Okay, so that type of good.
so yeah. So when I'm saying good, I mean like as far as like what I thought was a man. Look a man in the eye, shake hands, defend yourself, speak up for yourself.
Mhm.
No Islam though, just those kind of things. You know what I mean? So so when you say dysfunctional, the dysfunctional part about my family was nobody was Muslim.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the advice I was getting could have been looked at when we saying good advice, as far as just if I wasn't Muslim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when with the 2 brothers here, I feel like are saying is like what Najib is saying is, if we focusing, and the brother we spoke last night, if we focusing on learning this deen, which I've probably been Muslim over 20 years, probably close to 30 almost, something like that. And I'm probably where I was when I started.
Okay.
At the prison, what I learned with that teacher that would come and same thing, I got the same surahs, the same, you know what I mean? It's the same character because I wasn't really learning, or I never had a teacher to really teach me. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let me ask you.
That's what I was gonna say. Can I say that?
Come on over.
Muslims in general, us as a community out here in our city are. I'm speaking at the mic. I got it. Can y'all hear me? Inshallah.
Yeah, that's just like how you said you know how to sign that paper.
Yeah, man. Inshallah. Inefficiency. Like everybody inefficient. You going into a marriage inefficient. Get insufficient knowledge. You don't know what you're supposed to do, men or women. Period. In a lot of different categories. And we're taking the best example in the world, right? From the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his wives, and how we all fall short on that. Like as an example, we falling short a lot of categories. Myself, I know myself. You know what I mean? And all of us, like, can you give advice to a new shahada about what a marriage is, what being a husband is, or being a wife is? Like they just took shahada and they want to know, I'm Muslim, so can you tell them anything about it? Can you give them shahada? Like a lot of us can't. It's sad.
Okay. You want comments?
Assalamu alaikum. I was raised in a Muslim household, and my mother ended up reverting back because of her family, right? And I didn't see, what people believe to be, polygamy and how it would look to certain people, because I didn't have many instances where people sneak and get married and have another wife. You know what I mean? Like don't tell their first wife and things like that. So my mom, she's not Muslim anymore, and she only like one sword. And that's a man can have more than one wife, but he was smart if he had one. So it like left a stain. So I seen what like not knowing what you're doing inside a Muslim marriage to do with yourself, which made me fly straight and act right when I was ready for it. So even though this function could bring drama or trauma, I meant to say, it also can give you a deeper understanding of, all right, they did that, let me move a little bit different. Now, both my parents, great people. My Abu been Muslim before I was born. My mom understand, but you gotta have your own understanding and watch things and not let that stain you. I ain't say, man, my dad did this, so I ain't rocking with Islam no more. I said, nah, he of the flesh, he human. He ain't understand what he was doing to the extent he was doing. So he still regret that to this day. And it's just like you gotta have communication and hard conversations to make a healthy marriage.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Another question for the group. Hamza, hold the mic for 1 second.
Yes, sir.
This might be a little bit you chime in on. In comparison to what you were raised in, especially those things which you think or you say were good, right? Are those things, I want you to evaluate what you were raised in before Islam. How much of that would you bring into Islam, or how much would you say, heck no, I'm not bringing, even though you still viewed your parents as good or bad, compared to what you know in Islam now, how many things would you just be like, nah, I'm not taking that? Or how many things that you would look differently for in your own spouses? What would you look differently for specifically? Like certain things that you wouldn't want, even though you thank Allah for the mother that you had. Think about those things.
The only thing to me was that if they would have been Muslim,
okay,
from my parents, because they taught me all good things, except they didn't know about Allah.
Okay.
So everything that not everything, and so like the things that I speak to my children about relationships and marriage and stuff like that. That's the only thing I kind of try to do differently and about teaching them about Allah. But as far as like the way they raised me, I wouldn't really change too much except Islam.
Okay. Abu Mujib, anything? Anything maybe you would add to the upbringing of your own children, inshallah ta'ala, that you would want to change like generationally for us?
I would do different or what I would change, again, what would I bring first and foremost? Your first question, nothing. I would bring nothing that I learned from the dunya into what I had here. I remember it was one time that my mother spoke to a wife that I was married to before and said, be grateful that you know him now instead of who you did know. And that was sad. And that was sad. That was sad. You know what I mean? That was sad. Your mother said this. You know what I mean? And it was like, yeah, I would never bring that person. And there's times and things that I did now as being a Muslim, that I would change completely different as well.
But I'm not specifically talking about you, but I'm talking about in your upbringing from your household. Are there a lot of things that you would want to bring?
Nothing.
Okay, so you're saying there's a lot. So that had a big effect.
It had a big effect.
Okay. And I think that's the honesty that we're talking about, is that honesty, being able to examine ourselves, what we came from, what we used to be, because all of us were once these little adorable babies who were innocent and pure. So, Allah says in the Quran, it is our families, our parents, and society, and these things that make you what you are. So the reality of knowing Islamically, of course, a wonderful household, and from the example of the Prophet ﷺ, all these different things. But actualizing about ourselves and having that moment of self-examination, being able to say, man, I don't want my kids anywhere near what made me the way I used to be.
Yeah, for me, I think personally.
Get the mic.
Personally, for me, everything that was not right for me was me. Okay, it didn't have nothing to do with. Like I said, only thing was they didn't have Islam. Nothing about how I was raised would end me in the situations I was in. All that was me.
Okay.
I made good, clear decisions on what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? So the Islam would have probably helped that maybe if my parents knew Islam. But as far as even decisions I made since being a Muslim, they be me. That's my decision. So now I'm Muslim. I have Allah allowed me to know who Allah and His Messenger Sallallahu is, right? And I still choose to make decisions that I make, knowing that.
So let me ask you this, another question. How much impact do you think it would have for brothers in our generation? You're like an older brother to us. If we start having these real conversations.
It would do a lot. It would mean a lot because the reality of it is most of us, I'm going to say myself, I'm not, I don't study enough, and even when I study, I don't retain enough, right? So like when I was speaking with the brother last night, to hear how excited he gets about studying and reading, I don't feel that excitement.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I get it, man. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, my excitement is just try to pray, try to get up and fajr, make wudu before I go to sleep, stuff like that, like real basic, and I'm keeping it real with myself, so therefore I'm not getting in the way of myself or anybody else in the community. And I think a lot of people, because if they have one a kufi or a thawb, or they can read Arabic a little bit, they think that separates them from brothers who are struggling. Okay. And really it doesn't. What it is that Allah gave favor to them, and they squander in that favor by not taking time to accept the other brothers, which the larger portion of the community is illiterate, unlearned, can't even read English. So they're not going to feel the beauty of the Islam like Arabic and stuff like that because Allah didn't
open it up.
Didn't open it up for them.
So let me ask you this. One of the comments we're talking about here is, can everybody agree, inshallah ta'ala, that in our community, we come from a lot of trauma, right? We hear this often, trauma. Now, with that, one of the most traumatic things we know of is the state of kufr, right? And shirk. That's one of the most traumatic things, especially when you become Muslim. Allah gives you an opening to know, like, wow, I used to worship other than Allah. That's a major thing. So, when it comes to other forms of trauma,
that's it.
How often and how important do you think it is that we start seeking trauma-focused therapy before we get married?
I think it's imperative, monumental.
You said it's monumental.
Yeah,
right?
I think so because I just started therapy recently.
Okay.
Probably like October or something like that. It makes a big difference. It's things that I knew that I needed to work on that I didn't know how to work on.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So now that I'm learning how to work on them, it's making me a better Muslim. Believe it, you know what I mean? It's making me, like I knew Allah and His Messenger to the extent I did, right? But I even asked my wife this, you know, like, do you think I'm fasting and praying and making tahajjud and stuff for fun? I know I got a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I think us getting, you know, I know for me, I always looked at getting therapy or doing stuff like that as being weak. And that's another thing from us growing up.
Who told us that?
Just the streets, people we grew up with, my father,
Okay.
you know, my uncles, you know, everybody tell you, you good, you
Keep it in, right?
Yeah, so I think by us building that type of personality, we actually have a personality disorder in real life.
I got a question from the sisters upstairs.
Okay.
Go ahead, finish with you.
Yeah, so I think it's real. I think that's something because we gotta look at it like this. If we're not gonna like Masjid Quba, it's a hospital. I didn't see
We got it all here.
seriously super mental health issues here, male and female. You know what I'm saying? That I dealt with personally with the position, you know, that I try to hold in the community, right? So the imam is not a licensed therapist, you know what I mean? Or I don't know if we have any sisters that's a licensed therapist. So it's only so much, because it's like this. If our hearts aren't open to Islam, to the deen of Allah, right? No matter what the imam says or good brothers say to you, you can't even receive it. Because we have a different, you know, we messed up. So it's like, so the brother can tell you something and you know it's right. Yeah, and I'm talking from a brother that pray, fast. Fasting was part of my regimen to Hajj, and I still couldn't get right. Right.
That's the importance of sunnah. But one of the major things too before that, that's the importance of sunnah.
And being not scared to say something.
Explain suhbah.
It's real life companionship,
Okay.
right? The companions around the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to come to him and ask him all type of questions.
Right.
Right? And this is what we should have amongst each other. Because we gotta know each other. You love what you know. You love what you know. Right? When you know the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you love the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right? So this is the importance of learning the seerah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right? So we get to know him, so we can love him, right? So we know about the narration, like just to speak about what he said, he spoke about the people, not his companions, but the people that's going to come after him, because they love him, because we didn't even meet him. We didn't even meet him, right? So sohbah of having this brotherhood and sisterhood is very important, because a lot of times we can't talk to each other about our issues that we have. We're scared to. We're scared to come to somebody like, yo, bro, I'm going through this right here. We feel as though somebody's going to judge us, going to criticize us, going to speak ill of you, right?
Take it to the prayer, bro.
Exactly. Take it to the rug. Yeah, and that's not the thing.
Can I ask this? How many of us have companions? Right now, we're talking about suhbah. How many of us have companions that encourage and urge us to, how do you say, not to go learn how to regulate your emotions and teach you to, like, check yourself, bro. Like what you're doing is really foul. Like, how many of us really got companions like that tell us the truth?
I can say that too.
And how many of us have learned real life practices, how to regulate your emotions and how to take criticism? I'm talking about even from women.
Yeah.
We working on it.
You working on it?
Yeah.
You working on it in a formal manner, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm working on those.
Because that's one of the toughest things is to take criticism from your wife, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a very tough thing for me.
Yeah.
But and before you say your comment, so that's one of the things we're encouraging with each other when we have suhbah, right? Is the part of the forbidden the evil and encouraging the good. Part of the evil is you're forbidden, from people, having bad behavior or not checking their emotions or, not getting in touch with what's really going on with yourself. Okay.
we definitely need to take the criticism from our wife because you know your wife is the one that see the most, see what you hiding, and you gotta put that shield down and be okay with being criticized. And someone that you chose to spend your life with, spend your finances with, spend your time with, and you made this wise choice. Why she ain't making a wise choice when she pointing out the flaws? You can't think of everything as they picking. Maybe you ain't perfect. Maybe you there ain't connected. You know, you gotta take these hard choices with stride and make sure you know it's coming from a loving place. You gotta tuck that ego. So as you know, coming from trauma, wherever we come from, we know what hate look like. We should know what love look like.
Right. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't know
We
what
do,
love
but
look
we don't trust it. We know what it look like, but we like, nah, that ain't it. So when somebody checking you or whatever, like, take a second, see where it's coming from. It's coming from a good place. Accept it.
Okay.
It might take years to accept it. People done told me things 3 years ago. I'm just catching the day.
Mm.
And I'm upset. I was like, man, I could have built with them more about that, but I just watched them all. Get out of here. You couldn't talk to me.
Right.
Inshallah, we're gonna take a brief break. We're gonna bring a mic upstairs so the sisters can join.
Assalamu alaikum, we're back. The sisters got a mic. Speak up, bring the mic close to your mouth, please. Almost actually, I like you put it on, please. Pause. Pause.
I was wondering if there is a system where sisters would like to get married, would there be a process And I actually would like to start an app where the app would allow sisters and the brothers to enter their information, and the imam of that mosque would be the wali, and take it from there, inshallah.
Okay,
The sister was saying, do we have a system set up for the regulation of sisters who are interested in getting married, brothers? And she said she had an idea for an app. I wouldn't put that online, sis, because somebody might steal that from you. So,
There we go. Some of them already.
yeah, look, it's too late now. It's
But
gone.
we ain't talking about them talking and mingling. We talking about just the
Yeah.
information.
Real information. Now, sisters, I gotta say this.
But it's hard to get real information if I don't really know her.
Right.
If we don't know her or we don't know him.
Okay, hold on. We're talking about that system of being attached to a masjid, right?
Exactly. That's the
Let's
whole
go.
thing. It's hard to, start the app or even have the process and constantly, I mean, people doing it, we've been doing it for years, marrying people off, and we don't really know who the sister is. We don't know
Or brother.
background.
Or brother.
Or brother.
Or the brother. No, I'm getting this. We don't know the brother. We just know he accepted Islam. He's coming around. He's in the masjid every day now. You know what I mean? And that's just been for the last few months. And then once they get married, he's a whole different person in the house. Likewise, her job is the house, so she's not coming to the masjid as often. But we don't see him at the masjid at all. You know what I mean? So they're not building and working on trying to even rectify their affairs. But you're saying, should we have that system in place? The system in place that we need to have is having a system of communion, coming together, having that stuff, that getting to know each other. And it should be where as though the sisters know each other, where though she able to tell the brother that is in charge of the masjid, yeah, the sister is like this, like that, her family is like this. And even the brother probably can visit with his wife or something like that. It should be something like that, where though we get all into the nitty gritty of who these people are. You know what I mean? Where they live, how they're living and everything. So we can try to explain these things.
So
not just the sister, but the brother as well.
Okay.
Do he really have a house? Do he really have a job?
So we're saying we have a major issue in our community with, what do you call it? Muslim Bedouins coming in and out the masjid, not really being attached to a masjid, nobody knowing each other. We have the word Jamaat, but we got to break down what these things mean.
Right?
Go ahead.
If you open that system, right?
And then after your comment, I want to give the sisters a chance to speak on it.
Right.
Now I was gonna let you talk, but I'm saying if you open that door and you open that and you say, okay, they're gonna get married, and now when that sister come back and say, oh, the brother's like this, what's the process after that? Because we don't have no control, no authority in America as Muslims. We don't have that type of authority to say, yeah, I'm gonna force this divorce. We can try to come together. What we gonna go put our hands on? You know what I mean? What are we gonna do at this point?
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Go ahead.
The brother was asking, what do you do if the sister comes back and says that, like, let's say, a brother was putting his hands on her or whatever. Yes, the men should go put their hands on him.
Oh yeah, I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I do.
You're men.
No, I'm saying we're gonna put our hands on. I'm saying
whether you're married,
he's not the man that she's acting and stuff like that.
Right?
Yes.
So yes, go to their door and go put your hands on them.
Can I add something to this conversation? Because here's the thing. If I ask any of you brothers right now that have daughters, if some man who married your daughter put his hands on your daughter, what you gonna do? Just give me 2 words. What you gonna do? Come on, man. Just give me two honest words. Come on, 2 honest words.
I can't say that, man.
No. You tell the truth.
I'm gonna get it to H because I know what H gonna say.
I'm gonna deal with them just like his brothers from this community that was putting their hands on sisters, and I dealt with them.
Okay.
May Allah be pleased with me. They still on the count.
Yeah,
They still.
Now, hold on. Now, one thing I want you to think about this.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this. The manner in which, the manner in which you process your anger and disgust and your desire for your children to be safe and your anger and disgust with somebody harming them. The reason we don't have that in great quantity in our community is because men don't view people or the men are not viewing everybody else as their sister in Islam,
Right.
their daughter in Islam. You don't have a connection like that. So you see this person as outside of your family as opposed to what Allah has made closer to you than blood through Deen al-Islam. So that same desire you should have for your daughter or your own wife or your sister, it should be outstretched and for a random stranger sister in this community. Okay. So now let me ask you this. Do brothers believe sisters have that same type of connection?
Allah commands us to have this.
Do brothers believe sisters have that same type of connection? Hold on 1 second. Do brothers and sisters believe, honestly, that we really truly love each other for Allah's sake, or is just something we just saying? Come on.
Nah, it's something we're just saying on both sides, men and women.
Sisters, do we really love each other? Do we really want for our brother or sister what we want for ourselves, or we just saying it? Come on, let me hear something. We just saying it, right? Everybody just saying it?
I mean, it makes you sound good. You know, there's a lot of people who like to be politically correct.
Nah,
I want, you know, they say whatever to make it sound good and make people feel.
I ain't just saying it.
Yeah,
Hold on. No, seriously, if you, listen, my brother right here, Hamza, I'm telling you, bro, he will scorch earth for your children just as he would for his children. I feel the same way. Do we really have that type of connection here?
Excuse me.
Go ahead, sister.
So, up here, we're saying it depends, because like you said, what Hamza would do, I could say for every sister up here, we would do all the same for our children.
right. And for
Like,
hold up,
if you
let me
mess
see.
with somebody's kid up here, we coming to your house, we're gonna find you.
And I agree, right? So now what the question is, how we would do for these sisters right here upstairs that we know and we love, and the ones what you would do for yourself. Do you sisters feel like that y'all would do that for any Muslim sister, or do you have that love?
Is it just for protection of the children, or is it for everything?
Is it for all the Muslim women abroad? Y'all feel like that for the sisters? Do y'all think overall y'all doing? Because I don't feel like the brothers we doing that. I don't think we doing a good job at loving our brothers for the sake of Allah. But the sisters, y'all feel like y'all doing an excellent job at loving the sisters for the sake of Allah, rather you know them or not.
So the answer up here is, we personally think we would do that for all other sisters, but not that every other sister would do that for everybody.
Okay, mashallah. The brother has something he wanted.
Oh yes, go ahead, bro.
No, because we talking about the
Anyway,
real.
another sister was saying something, I'm sorry, I'm too far. Hold on.
Pass the mic. Let's hear what she got.
Because we come from a culture of separatism in America, it's very hard for us to do as sisters.
Oh.
And,
Go ahead.
I just don't know, you know, unless I had an example, I've seen sisters that love me for the sake of Allah, and truly, unconditionally. And that's where I got the vision of what it means to be a love for the sake of Allah.
So how far is this love going? I want to know, how far is this love we have for each other going? To what extent? Where's the cutoff point?
Who you asking?
For everybody, go ahead. That's everybody.
I mean, the love, it has to, you know,
Bring the mic closer.
the love, it has to, you know, be in accordance with Allah's book, you know what I mean, within our marriages, within our suhbah, our companionship with our brothers and our sisters, you know, with those that we don't know, and those that we, the Prophet said, greet those whom you know, you know what I mean, it's from our religion to greet those whom we know and those who we don't know. I mean, that's from Iman, you know, so the whole thing is to love the one you know and the one you don't know, if they are Muslim and they attest to this faith, you know, especially where we're at in this critical time, in this critical place. You know what I mean? Muslims are just dying right now for just saying la ilaha illallah, just believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we gotta have that love for one another. We gotta be supplicating. Even if your love is saying, I can't move my hand physically, because the Prophet said what? Either tara munkarin, if you see it evil, he said, if you see it evil, change it with your hands. If you're not, he said, if you're not able to change it with your, everybody not like Hamza. You know what I mean? Every sister not like that. Everybody not physical people. You know what I mean? If they're not able to change it with their hands, and you're not able to, you change it with your tongue. Right. If you're not able to change it with your tongue, you gotta hate it in your heart at least. You know what I mean? And then in the society that we, and that's the weakest of it. And then the society we in, you may sit there and pitch your hands and beat that man, bloody him up. He may go to jail, and then guess what? She's the one up there visiting him. She's still with him. You know what I mean? She bails him out. They walking hand in hand. You know, they trying to, you know, they about to, you trying to make a divorce. She called you, y'all was sitting there going back and forth, y'all was talking on the phone and everything, and he said he was gonna do this to her, and next thing you know, they walking down hand in hand, coming to the meeting, coming to the gathering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We
have
got
to
the
be
situation.
mindful of what we're doing. We have to really be mindful as brothers and as sisters and really think about what we're doing, thinking about our actions, thinking about our emotions. A lot of times we all got children already. You know, so sometimes it be ulterior motives that we, I mean, not just ulterior motives, but things that's already still with us from past relationships, past dealings. A lot of times we can't just blame it on our upbringing, on our parents and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because we was talking about this earlier, about the parents and about we can't just blame it on our upbringing. You know what I mean? And this was 100% too. Like it was my choices that I made. A lot of times we're making these choices. We're grown people. We accepted Islam. A lot of us we're reversed to Islam. Yeah. We accepted it. So now accept the decisions that you make. Everything ain't a mistake, but it's the choices that you make. You have to accept them. You know, and you have to seek Torah. You have to repent for them, and you have to move on.
Sisters,
Do they got any questions?
any questions?
About anything?
Anything? Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, in reciting that narration you did about changing a harm or an injustice, going from one stage to the next, the lower stage of physically changing a wrong, is it when something is preventing you from doing it? Or let's say you have instead of being too politically correct, let's say you're just scared to do it. Or you're too selfish to do it. You know what I mean? Or if you should. Now, when you said not everybody can do what Hamza does, I think that has more to do with Hamza doesn't have a fear of doing it. Because a lot of brothers can physically do something, but they too shook to do it. You get what I mean? So what happens is they jump to the final stage and they just against it in their heart, and they never even tried to physically do anything. You get what I mean?
And
So
I
I'm
think
not.
if we did more things physically, we would see better.
Do you sisters? Because I got a question for sisters.
I don't think you should cop out.
Yeah, so I got a question for sisters. I got a question for sisters. Hold on one second. Sisters, please give me an honest answer. How secure do you feel within the environment of the Muslim man you have today? How safe do you feel?
Are you talking about the brothers overall? Or
The brothers overall, generally, your own husband, how safe do you feel?
So I feel perfectly safe with my husband.
Who's your husband, sister? That's right.
Now, how about what you feel about the
overall? Now about the overall ummah of men, the quality of men, how safe do you feel out here?
I don't feel safe at all. I feel like I gotta handle it myself.
Do you feel as though the men are weak?
Yes, I feel like my sisters will come to my defense.
Ooh. Hold on. Let the people hear this on live. The sisters believe that they will get more protection and guarding from their fellow sisters than they would from the brothers walking around with those kufis, kufain,
because
Izar.
but why though? A lot of people pay attention to social media, right? That's one of the reasons why you can hear, airing this on YouTube. People pay attention to social media and stuff. And when you hear our own brothers speaking negatively about us on their podcast or whatever you want to call it, like it really does something to us. And then it's like over the last couple of years, it's been a whole male versus female battle on social media, and most men are falling right into it. I mean,
it was your podcast,
but it's like, but how does that make us so comfortable? It's like, oh, you hate me. You rather marry somebody who's died. You don't want to pay a certain type of dowry for me. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't want to pay $5,000 for no week or whatever you'll say. All that stuff. Like when that stuff is said, it doesn't make it so we trust you. It doesn't make it so we feel as though you're going to protect us or anything.
So do you guys not feel valued?
Not at all.
Ooh.
And in my opinion, just because brothers have knowledge and they start these like now that we on that topic, like about the shows and stuff like that. Remember, I was telling you this the other day. I was listening to the class, and all the class was a rap battle. Salafi, Ashari, I don't even know what none of this stuff is, right? And the whole supposed to be class was a battle. I didn't learn nothing, bro. I heard the same thing I hear all day, every day, up and down Hag. I didn't hear nothing that was teaching me anything to be better as a Muslim. But this is the people we saying these are teachers. So like I'm saying, this is a whole nother topic. Even if they saying that they are teachers and this is how they carrying it, we need to silence them, bro. Because I personally wrapped and washed Muslim bodies that was killed by other Muslims. So if these are supposed to be the teacher or the one that went and studied, if these are the teachers or the ones that went and studied and sat at the feet of those that's knowledgeable, and they getting on YouTube and this stuff, and this is what the class is, or this is what the talk is, and this is what all this stuff is after Fajr, Sunday night, and all this. I think the regular people, because the 4 young brothers that took Shahada the other day, right? They're gonna come right in to every masjid they go to, it's a rap battle. It's a smack DVD. Every masjid, in the most cases, not all masjids, but most of them, the large population of the masjids we gonna be in. So now, what's gonna stop that young boy from doing what he doing, gang banging or whatever else he doing, and it's basically gang banging going on within the Muslim community, and then our sisters feeling like how they feel. So I think when them that's it to me. Like me, I like to change it physically. If they doing that, I feel like we need to stop them. We need to pull up to their show and all that, and not like fight them or nothing, but like, yo, come on, you supposed to be the teacher, and you affecting me. I'm 48, bro. And you affecting me and making me still look bad as some of my brothers because you supposed to be teaching me to calm this fire, not feed the fire for that reason though. You feed my fire.
They don't have mannerisms. They coming in with a jacket.
Hold on.
Right.
Walaikum salam. Go ahead, sis.
So a sister up here said that she feels as though Muslim men respect and cherish non-Muslim women more than they do Muslim women.
Ooh, now hold on. Wait. Can she give me a reason why she feels that way? I'm not saying she's wrong.
She said because some Muslim men are quick to protect, provide, and maintain other women, but there's in our community there's no protecting, no providing, no maintaining.
Okay, now that was a blanket statement.
I'm just
okay, I got you. So we're saying we see more of brothers extending their manliness of protecting and guidance and all this to a non-Muslim sister. They putting all their energy.
Or she's not saying all.
That's what said more. They're putting a lot of brothers are putting more of their energy. Right. Okay, now we got brothers agreeing with that. Hold on. Hold on.
I understand.
Let's clean them, dean them.
I'm listening.
I would honestly say that they
bring the mic close.
I wouldn't honestly say that they have more respect and they treating them better or nothing like that. Especially if these women is not the woman that they're married to, they just know how to deal with them just as they're another man in the workplace and stuff like that. We walking past and they neighbors, we just giving them that neighborly. But as our Muslim sisters, a lot of times, a lot of times what happens is a lot of the brothers, we just expect a lot more. Our expectations just be so, hold up, let me just say, our expectations be so high of one another. This be the problem. You know, our expectations, of course, you can have a brother, he can express what he wants before he get married. Know what he wants, know what he needs. So that way he's not jumping from this marriage to that marriage because he's looking for specific things. He may have an 80% wife, and then he's looking for the 20%. And guess what? He got the 80%
will get your feelings hurt
all the time.
Okay, now I gotta be real. I got a little different take on that. I think a lot of our brothers are taking part and finding non-Muslim sisters that they like physically and they like certain attention from them. And they are more willing, I see it, they are more willing to invest in these sisters than they are to the sisters who already said, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean, it's, Hamza, can you agree? Is there something going on in our society?
The reason why
it's real.
The reason why it seems like brothers are willing to do all that for a woman who's not Muslim is because they can't bring that nonsense over here to Muslim sisters. We already know what you're supposed to be doing. We're going to hold you accountable. And the thing is, some men are just too weak and too scared to be held accountable.
And in the same aspect, you know, the brothers know what the sisters are supposed to be doing also.
Exactly.
So hold on, I'll let y'all talk my chance. So, and I'm being 100% honest. If a man doesn't feel appreciated and stuff like that, we're going to do wrong. That's just real. Like and not even because it's un-Islamic, period. But when a man doesn't feel appreciated, he does wrong. And then when going back to what the two brothers said about learning, now, I know that a lot of the brothers aren't trying to learn. I know that a lot of the sisters are not trying to learn. Sister that's married to Issa, you got blessed. You know, Allah had favor on you because Issa actually took time to learn. So therefore, you was able to learn. So say a brother like me that didn't take time to learn, my wife didn't get the same mercies that you got because I didn't take time to learn. So therefore, there's a lot of things that I couldn't teach her. So then when we in a community like we've been in at 1311, Haddon Avenue, she didn't have no sisters that could help her learn. No matter how sisters may feel, that's being for real. Not just going to conferences or going over sister houses drinking coffee. I'm talking about sisters not really sitting down learning. And the same is for the brothers. I don't take no side. I never took time to sit down and learn. So yeah, the sisters feel that way, and y'all should feel that way. But the reason we feel that way is because none of us really took the time to make a real effort to learn this deen and live it the way we're supposed to. Now, there's pockets of people in our community who learned a little bit, taught their wives a little bit, even up to our imam. Now, past that, we talk about, I know almost every brother in this community. None of us are really learning, and none of our wives are really learning. And that's what it boils down to.
So we're saying this lack of education is on both sides. We all ignorant, and we're passing that down to our children, right? So, all right, that segues into the next conversation. What are we going to do to start making the difference now? What are we going to do?
Remember that example I gave you? I said, I think we should take it back to the basics. I said we should get one book, rather you pick it, you, Fahim, somebody, we pick one book, and that book is for the whole community.
I mean, we honestly talking about marriage here, right? So we're talking about marriage and keeping the family together. Honestly, women know how to treat, you know what I mean?
Hold on one second.
It's not that hard to not know how to, you know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Now, remember the conversation we had? Hold on.
You gotta think
Go
about
ahead,
women
sis.
that
Go
grew up
ahead.
in crackhead homes.
There was a people up here who was still on the last topic.
Okay, go ahead.
And they were saying, what happened to just common morals?
What happened is just what? Hold on.
Y'all.
Common. I couldn't hear it. Oh, common morals.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, what happened to that? Like,
Okay.
everybody's talking about, like, you don't have to be a scholar to be able to treat your woman right.
Okay. Now hold on. Okay. Now, first of all, because that's going to take us in a whole new conversation about what has been instituted in our society, and which makes it very easy. Now I'm saying, as a collective, one thing you can agree on, hopefully, is that when you do an effort, when you have more people with you, it makes it easier to perform that effort. I don't care if you're traveling somewhere, Ramadan, you're collective, everybody's fasting together. It makes us stronger. Okay. There has been a movement that has been, very popular in our society, and we can find it amongst Muslims, and it's a sad thing amongst people who say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, where we are mistreating our women. We marry them, we divorce them. We want past sisters around the community. We want to talk about them. Oh, I had this one. You should marry her next. No, this is real. Do you know that
sisters being mean to other sisters?
Sisters being mean to other sisters? Sisters coming around looking for husbands? Sisters cutting the eye at them? Come on, we all in it together now. But there is a system that has been instituted that we are currently following. Is a wave we are currently following, and it is well known in our area how we treat our sisters and how sisters treat each other and how sisters treat their husbands. So what are we talking about next?
Yeah, no, like I said, he said what was something you think we could do?
Yeah, what can we do?
You asked that. I said the example I said was what I told you upstairs.
Okay.
Let's get one book.
So Hamza said one of the solutions. Now we're talking about solutions.
I'm talking about to learn.
Did the sister have anything else she wanted to say about the last topic?
Whatever it is, because it's going to have to be a series. It ain't going to just be one. But we start with one and we give it to the complete family, and we make it mandatory. Call yourself a part of the community.
Is there a particular book that Hamza would recommend?
Okay, I mean, he said a book that we would select according to, dealing with the imam and other teachers, and we would have that conversation so that we can go over certain books like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I'm not saying what the book is or what I think the book should be, but I'm saying as what me just gauging what it's been like being in this community for 20 years. We never learned nothing. Right? So I'm saying, let's figure out. It's going to be a series of books, a series of education.
Can I ask you honestly with that comment, when you say we never learned anything, is that more emphasis on our own dedication to learning, or was the imam not teaching?
No, that's on our own accord.
So tell me what imam was imam.
Yeah, Fahim was striving to teach. Even several times we had classes. We didn't raise money to donate the money for the books to have classes. So it never was that. It's just we don't show up.
Okay.
So tomorrow is a class. Ain't nobody gonna be here. Straight up, it's gonna be 3 sisters on live.
Facts.
So it's three sisters,
And I
and
think
it's
that's
probably
the
more than
problem.
3
I think
sisters
that's the
upstairs
problem,
right
too.
now.
It's
And
the
it's more than 10 brothers down here, and nobody gonna be here and nobody gonna tune in. But what I'm saying is, we have to make it mandatory to be a part of this community, and we are gonna learn, that we are gonna study. And I think that is, I'm thinking like a book, and we give it to everybody, the men, the women, the children, our guests, the people that come here every so often, and we make it mandatory. Even if you already know this book, so what? This, because we gotta think about the people like me who don't know nothing.
Gotcha.
So help bring me up to speed to where y'all at. So now, and we bring all the sisters, the kids, the other brothers up to speed to where we at. What's the highest level of knowledge we have here in this building? Bring us all up to that point, gradually, make it mandatory, because like today, Friday, Issa said we doing something at the building. We doing something to help the masjid. Nobody came this morning, 10 o'clock.
Except Ken.
One brother with his 2 sons, and me and my son. But that kind of thing. And it's not because brothers don't care. We don't have the knowledge to know that this is important, because the heart we ain't worked on, so we don't even know we should show up to the call. So we got to figure out how we do that and make it mandatory for everybody to call themselves a part of this community.
Let me, can I ask a question to the brothers about education and those who are married? How many of you, and sisters, I want you to attest to this if your husband is down here, how many of you have studied formally with a shuyukh? Teachers.
Not me.
I studied with teachers.
Okay. How many of you have taken your wives and children to get the same ijazah that you got? With that same shit.
I haven't.
I haven't.
Okay. How many sisters upstairs have gone with their husbands to get the same ijazah that their husbands got?
I ain't even got none.
And I think that's why, we make that.
Any? One sister.
Yeah.
She's been with the same sheikhs that her husband has.
I never been
Now let me ask you, sisters who have not sat with scholars. Do you think that's a problem?
Yes.
You have a problem with that? Okay. How many of you sisters would love to have a scholar teaching you? What, you can have I know, with modesty, you would love to have a sheikha. You would love to have a female scholar teaching you. How many of you would love to have a female teacher who's qualified, who comes from a community like you, who understands you, who's able to teach you? Everybody in here, okay. How many brothers are willing to get their sisters, get their wives,
I am.
that type of education that they desire and they need? How many of us are really here to understand that you might not be able to do it?
I agree. But that's humility in yourself, knowing that I can't get you to that level.
Yeah.
My intention should be that I want you to learn as well. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the mother is the first teacher of the child. And she has to acquire this knowledge to pass it on, So
I think we get to the.
All right, we get to the.
But a lot of times, you may have a good wife. She may know how to, raise your children and be a wife to you. You know what I mean? So, and she may not desire the knowledge that you not desire, but she pray her father. She garb up, she passed her mom. Because the Prophet said, what if they do these certain actions, they guarantee Jannah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? At the hands of her husband, it's another way to Jannah. So, sometimes we expect them and want them to learn and be diligent like us, but that's not always the case.
Okay. Okay. So the only thing I have in regards to that, I have a little comment, right? Whatever you do in life, I want you to imagine your profession, right? And you're given certain tools in your profession to tackle certain tasks, okay? So you're given these basic tools, and we're talking about advancement. So you're given these basic tools to tackle these basic tasks. Once you're able and masterful at completing these basic tasks, what if they didn't give you the tools, but they gave you the next task? You would feel unqualified, inept, correct? I think a lot of times in our marriages, after time with each other and issues and things changing in society and all these different sciences, we get complacent with the basic. Not saying you can't be successful with it, but you want from your spouse an advancement in their understanding, but you haven't given them an advancement in their education, and you expect from them to be able to deal with and operate within a system they have no idea how to operate in. And I think a lot of our marriages are turning down from that because we're not raising each other up within the deen, especially men being who?
the ones who are in charge. And that in charge is a responsibility, which meaning on Yom Qiyam you're going to be questioned about, right? Okay,
My
so
question is when you are encouraging, meaning that you're trying to even give them good words in the house, you're trying to encourage them to go to the class. I will pay for the classes. You're buying books and putting libraries in the house, but they just don't have that desire. You know, so now are you saying at that point, because she don't want to step outside of that basic necessities, that how she know how to be a Muslim and know how to pray and stuff like that, and giving her daughters and giving them just that basic and bare necessity?
Nothing wrong with it.
Should you just say, you know what, this is not enough for me, and this is what's going on in our community. I'm gonna go ahead and take another wife. And now, instead of talking to your wife about that, I need something that's going to fulfill that within me, and that can be another part of my family, and that can aid you with the children and teaching them and everything. And that's not like a whole nother family, but it's all of us together, you know? And talking to your family about it.
Okay, sisters, you have a comment for that?
This is the reason why.
If you cannot get things right with your first wife, so you decide, oh, I'm not getting what I want here, and I'm going somewhere else. All you're doing is destroying another home. Because if you didn't change the way you were doing it, you didn't correct your shortcomings, what makes you think you're going to do better?
Well, I don't think he was talking about shortcomings from his sister. I think he was just talking about within growth Islamically and within knowledge. Meaning, if your wife, I think you should accept her if she wants to just stay with the minimum and be successful in that, alhamdulillah, and she can't teach the kids beyond that, then it's going to be more of a responsibility on the man that we do believe, correct? Okay, so accepting a sister for who she is and the abilities that she has, and as far as she wants to go, that's all she's mandated to do is be a good wife in that manner, right? But what I'm saying is I think brothers are putting false expectations on sisters. And what happens is you don't find within that 80% that you're getting from her, you know, that 20% that you want, you end up going to another person thinking you're going to get that 80%, and then that marriage don't work. And then next thing you know, you've been married 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Seriously. Like we have a mass, epidemic of that. Like it's going crazy.
Until you get done and you get fed up.
Yeah, and then y'all go back around the circle and y'all end up together again. But sisters, go ahead. No, it's all good. I'm just waiting to see if the sisters can come.
Our own comments up here because y'all are sitting here talking about expectations that we have with sisters when there's a lot of brothers who don't live up to their expectations themselves.
Okay.
You might have expectations on sisters, and you don't do it yourself. So like, I don't understand. Everybody's worried about somebody else, so they're worried about themselves. Get yourself together first before you worry about somebody else.
Okay, so maybe you're saying before we even get married.
Yes. Get yourself together.
Okay, let me ask the sisters a question. When looking for a spouse, and I really truly want you to think on this based on if you've been married before, history with ex-husbands, people who were knowledgeable, people who weren't knowledgeable, whatever you had as your experience. What expectations would you look for in a husband, whether it be just a basic brother who knows how to lead you in salat, who goes to Jummah every day, whatever, just a basic Muslim? Or, are you looking for something greater? Tell me what are the things that you might be looking for, that you want markers to be able to, there might be those red flags or might be those positive red flags you want to look for.
One sister says someone to provide.
So that's number one on her list?
Hold on. Looking for someone who's not a narcissist.
Brothers down here having secret huddles.
That loves the law.
Okay.
That wants to pray. That wants to fast. That wants to love.
So have you
That wants
sisters?
to study with me. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Brother Ethan.
Yes.
Y'all have been dominating the mic. So you gotta give us time, please.
Yes.
So much.
What is narcissism?
That doesn't have anger issues. That's not a mama's boy. Or that's just one sister running down the list real quick. That doesn't have temper tantrums.
Hold on. I'm listening.
Oh, she emphasized narcissism. That's not abusive.
What is the
Physically,
meaning?
mentally, emotionally, or financially.
Somebody
Not
said they need a
womanizer.
definition of narcissist too, babe.
Excuse me?
Someone said they need the definition of narcissist.
But, excuse me, sir, Because I think everybody down there is an adult and also has a smartphone. If you type in
I'm saying you
Google,
say the word though, you know.
and type in narcissist,
Why you gotta get like that?
Whoa,
Why you gotta get like that? Why they gotta be defensive and aggressive like that?
I think we're losing.
Because you use the words if you're not able to explain
in
it.
the DSM-5,
Mhm.
and you will
We're
get
not on Dr. Phil here.
definition, and you will also get everything that shows like what different things you have to show, to be diagnosed with that.
No. We didn't. We're just trying to get the real life definition because
And
there's
I'm
people
giving you the
listening
real
that
life
don't know.
definition. Google DSM-5 narcissist.
Okay.
Healthy communication, like when someone needs a little bit of help, like we need to bear with them, suffer, have patience, and try to explain, even if we have a smartphone in our pocket. That's part of what we're speaking about.
And a few minutes ago, I'm not trying to be funny. We said
I wasn't
dominating
trying to
the
be funny,
mic. You the minute you get everything out, and y'all keep cutting it off. I understand you might need the definitions. I'll give it to you momentarily. Let us finish, please.
Let them talk.
Go ahead, sister.
Don't express themselves. Let them go ahead and bet.
Anybody else need anything? Got anything else to say? What you looking for in a man? Me personally, when I was looking for a husband, I needed my husband to be everything that my ex-husband wasn't, which is a father, a good father. And he didn't have to be a father to my children, but he chose to step into that role. He had to be Muslim. He had to be a practicing Muslim. He couldn't be an abuser. Because I know my own self, and if he would have been an abuser, he would have been locked in the streets. I mean, he had to exude excellence when it comes to this thing. He died. So anyway, I'm gonna help the other brother out who didn't know the definition of narcissism. Hold on 1 second, please. Let me get my smartphone out.
I'm saying, you say,
Hold, please. To the viewers as well.
you use the word that you ain't know the definition for. You know what I mean?
So while you get that definition, is it okay to speak, ma'am?
Yes, you have my permission to speak.
Miss Ma'am, do we have the
You
floor? Okay.
have the floor. You're welcome.
Okay, now, as a community, because I want brothers to have some of these ideas they wanna look for in a spouse, or that they looked for in a spouse, some of these expectations, you can have them in your mind. I don't even want to hear them now. Now, I want to ask everybody in here, all those beautiful things we listed, are these things that we are instilling in our own children? Because they're going to be somebody's spouses someday. Honestly, are we instilling this within our own children? Because I'm going to be real with y'all.
Yes and no.
We got a lot of mama boys coming up. And you know what? You know what the common denominator is with that? Mamas. We got a lot of mama boys. How many of us are taking ownership on these mama boys?
Well, I know I hear my husband tell my son, very, very good things that I would tell my own self. I have no problem with the way my husband is telling my son how to treat a woman.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, sisters?
Generally speaking, a lot of women, a lot of men are mama's boys because women coddle them. But
Okay.
that's also because you gotta understand, we don't know how to raise men. We can raise you to adulthood, we can't teach you how to be a man. And
Okay.
we're left on our own to raise a man, what do you expect?
So let me ask you this, honestly. Anybody here feel as though they coddled their boys?
Yes,
Okay. Did they have a man present to raise them?
in the beginning, it depends what you mean by that.
At any stage, any stage.
In the beginning, no.
Okay.
Now, yes.
So 100% of in the beginning, they had no man to teach them anything of manhood.
No, because the men that I was surrounded by didn't take the time to teach my kids anything.
Okay. So this is for everybody, and everybody that believes that they coddle their sons. So, okay, sister, you said in the beginning no, but at this point, or at a certain point, yes.
12 years ago.
Was that person allowed, in your honest opinion, to show manhood to the young men?
Sometimes.
Okay. Okay, that's an honest assessment.
I'm being honest, sometimes.
Yeah. Sisters, anybody else?
The other sister up here says she raised her son herself.
Okay. With nobody else there, no men?
Anybody else have a man to raise her?
Anybody else stop the man from raising their kids? And I would love to know what reasons why.
The other sister said she lives with her husband. Her husband, you know, is help raising her son. And what was your question? I'm sorry.
Are there any sisters who prevented a man from help raising their children, and why?
The sister said yes, her first husband, because he wasn't a man himself.
Okay, what does she mean by that? Because if she's not a man, how does she understand what a man is? Go.
She said he wasn't a man himself, he wasn't raised properly and didn't know how to continue to raise himself.
Without identifying anybody, give me these example traits. I need to know what type of traits we need to be looking for so we can identify things that we were doing wrong as men.
He said give him traits. So I can speak personally, and I mean, I don't know how you want to feel about this, Lisa, but I know there were certain times where I blocked you from doing certain things with my kids.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain why?
It was out of fear, out of not knowing, out of not necessarily being able to fully trust you at first.
Okay.
Because I couldn't trust my ex-husband who was very down.
Gotcha, that's understandable.
Okay. It was a learning experience, basically. And I was used to doing everything by myself, so then when you come in and try to take charge, I'm like, honestly, I was like, who does N-word think he is? At first. And then I just had to kind of realize, but I also was not married to a person who decided to step into a role of a man. He was a husband by law, but he wasn't a man. So it's like, I didn't have that example of a man. So then when you came around, it took a bit to, you know, it was like an adjustment period.
Okay, I just want to let you know this is not your husband with the mic.
It is my
And
husband.
the husband you're describing, that sounds like a smooth brother.
Oh my gosh, he is.
I'm telling you, he sounds sharp. I gotta meet this guy. I must learn from him. I must sit at his feet. I must become his student. Okay. No, seriously.
No, but I'm serious. I was just being honest.
Can I ask how many single sisters we got upstairs?
3, 4. Well, wait. So adults 4, but we have a lot of teenagers up here.
Everybody talking about them babies.
So 4.
4. Okay. How many of y'all looking to get married?
4.
How many of y'all got your tax return on today?
How many of y'all want to invest in my rap career? How many of y'all want to fund my mixtape? Looking for a sister to fund my mixtape.
No, but there's all 4 are looking for husbands. Oh, one sister said as long as he's not homeless.
As long as he's not what?
Homeless.
Homeless? Well, I mean, more than likely, you got a home, don't you?
He need to have his own.
Nah, y'all listen. I'm sorry. At a certain stage, you better get what you can get now. Better clean that brother up.
You better. You're being funny, but they're being
Sisters, you better clean them, beat them, and marry them. No. Yeah, we are live.
Okay, stop.
Okay, all right, we're gonna get serious now. Bismillah.
You can get goofy when you turn that off.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I got a question. How do women that are independent start to develop interdependency or dependency with a new spouse without making him feel as though he has to give you a certain lifestyle that you probably weren't even able to give yourself? And then I have another part to that question. Go ahead, sisters. This is deep. It says, how do women that are independent, all the single ladies, independent.
So wait, so So I wasn't asking you what to repeat it.
Oh, okay.
I was saying what, because that's actually a 2-part question.
Okay.
Because if somebody is independent and you want them to become interdependent with a spouse, that has nothing to do with the lifestyle they're providing. That has everything to do with the relationship. So that's how I was trying to figure out. Like, you want 2 different answers. Give me the first part.
Okay. All right. So let me read it again. I'm a little slow. I don't have the master's degree. It says, how do women that are independent women, how do women that are independent start to develop interdependency or dependency with a new spouse without making him feel as though he has to give you a certain lifestyle that you probably weren't giving yourself?
So she probably was giving herself that lifestyle. What if she wasn't? That's one thing. The other part is called trust. Men have to make a woman feel secure. Like, if we don't feel secure in anything, we're not gonna trust you. Because you can say you're a leader, but if you're not showing me that you are, and you're not making me, comfortable in that. So if you're supposed to take care of bills and something gets paid, etc. Like you have to make a woman feel secure. If a woman does not feel secure, she's gonna do everything herself, and she's gonna stay that independent woman that she built herself.
That's facts. That's facts. Now I gotta ask a question because I gotta make a comment because I think a lot of times when we get married, we're not being real. Sisters, if you bougie and you know you used to a certain lifestyle, tell that brother right from the beginning. Remember, there's a hadith, right? Where a woman came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and she inquired about two companions. Anybody know what the Prophet sallallahu told her about that companion? Those two different companions, that narration where the sister inquired for marriage about two companions?
Don't marry him because he's poor.
The Prophet sallallahu said, don't marry him because he's poor. And don't marry him because he's known to abuse women. Okay, so to me, that's a reality that maybe the Prophet ﷺ knew this woman and knew that she was used to a certain lifestyle. He's giving her advice. Sis, don't marry somebody that's poor. And then the advice of the Prophet ﷺ to that companion who came and complained about his wife's behavior. And what did the Prophet ﷺ say? Okay, her behavior obviously wasn't haram. It was just something borderline that the husband didn't like. The Prophet ﷺ said, okay, well, divorce her. So either accept her as she is, let her go, or let her go. He said, okay, well, if you like her and you don't want to let her go nowhere, you don't want her to be with nobody, then keep her.
Issa,
Yes.
I meant to tell you 12 years ago that I'm bougie.
You ain't bougie.
Because
I'm broke.
And I'm spoiled.
I'm broke. I spoil you with food from a restaurant. Okay. Oh, listen, in a second, I want you to give the mic to some other sisters. We want to hear from them. But listen, I just want to let everybody know, this is a shameless plug. I spoil my wife with food from Smoking Quba Boys, which is located at 1301 Kane Avenue in the wonderful city of Camden, New Jersey, where we serve all halal delicious food. Come get your halal food experience. Thank you.
Just so you know, the sisters didn't want to speak on the mic, so I was speaking for them.
Okay.
This isn't just this isn't just me talking.
Yeah, I would never think you would hold the mic.
Yeah, I'm not speaking for everybody.
We're playing volleyball now, so we got some
If they want me to say it, I say it.
Okay, sisters.
Answer not a what if.
I need an honest answer from some of you. If you found a wonderful husband that the Imam introduced you to, a wonderful man with potential to be a husband, and he's handsome and he's intelligent, articulate, and he's doing everything except he ain't got the bag.
He hitting you in the night.
Can you be poor with him?
Nah, not poor with him, regular with him. What if they in this facade in their head? Like, are they listening?
Can you live in Ferry Station with him, sisters?
It's not even just that. But he's giving you the house. He got you everything. But it's like,
See, the thing is, you gotta remember, you're talking to a room full of black women. We're not gonna be poor because we're gonna make it happen.
So let me.
he's giving you everything. Okay. So now you don't have to sit there and try to be in defense mode all the time. Okay. You know what I mean? And still have that independence.
So okay. So the question goes to, okay, so this man is actually giving you the economics as well. Why is it that we still have, or will you still have, a sort of a wall or a barrier because you're so used to being independent? You know, how much of a struggle would it be for you to let your guard down when the man is providing you with everything?
So is that a question to a woman with those qualities? Because not all women have cut the same way.
Can you put the mic a little closer?
Is that question for a woman with those specific qualities? Because not all women are cut the same.
So yeah, it's definitely for those women with those specific qualities.
Personally, I don't mind growing and building with my husband.
Okay.
You know, we're gonna grind together. If he got, I got, and vice versa.
That's right. That sounds like Hunter's wife up there. That sounds like Hunter's wife up there. She said, y'all gonna soldier together.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna grind together. We're gonna eat tuna together.
A sister is saying that all those things have to be worked out at a sit down. Like, I need to know what you got, so you can know what I got, so we can know, How that song go? You go get your friend, I go get my friend, we gonna be friends. Yeah, so she's saying, let me know what you got, I'll let you know what I got, we can figure it out together, and see if it's actually gonna work. Yeah.
So
like instead of how they say, you gotta be honest. Yeah, don't send your representatives, be honest about it.
So we're talking the realistic Islamic system of actual people who know you, i.e. families, getting together and meeting each other and having conversations. So sisters and brothers, stop the DMs, get out the DMs, stop trying to hit the sister up on the low. And sisters, y'all know y'all be wanting the brother to inbox you too, so stop responding. You know what I mean? And actually have that realization that if a brother hitting you up in your inbox, there might be something wrong with him.
Because sisters are saying, there's brothers that send pictures and all kinds of nasty text messages to sisters in their DMs and never once go to their wali, their wakil, or even ask about them.
Alhamdulillah.
Let's see here. The sisters actually want to have a real live conversation, but we can't do that on YouTube.
Okay, listen, I can squat. I mean, who you want to have a conversation with? It ain't with the people online. Just not YouTube?
It's not YouTube.
YouTube.
I mean, it's on Facebook too now.
Stop all of it. Stop live streaming.
I mean, then who we gonna have a conversation with?
You gonna talk with people,
Y'all want to have just a conversation within the masjid?
Anyway.
Okay, because
wait, so some of the questions were coming from online?
yes, we got questions online here.
Okay, and then we'll unleash.
Alhamdulillah. Do we have any more things we would like to talk about before we close out? Or... Hold on, let me see. I got some more questions I need to address online. Let me see here. Hold on. Okay, let's see.
Saying that tell brothers stay out of people's DMs. Do things proper. Because the thing is, what you're not going to do is disrespect a Muslim woman like you do is not Muslim woman.
Okay, so we're saying do things properly. So we got to start to respect each other. We have to start to have taqwa of Allah first, right? And do things in accordance to the right way. Okay, fear Allah.
I mean, you already know. You want to tell about Muslim character, you can ask them questions as a person. It makes it personal. Like, if this is what you do you do social media? I don't play with that stuff. You know what I mean? That you shouldn't be. I don't even want my wife playing. I don't even you can't get married.
I have a question. I want to go back to our earlier conversation.
We do too, because y'all didn't give us the mic when you first started. But go ahead.
Oh God. Is there any other sisters? Nobody else want to get on the mic. I don't know who's that loud sister on the mic. No, I'm joking. All right, but listen, here we go. I do want to go back to that previous conversation we had earlier, and I want to know how many of y'all crazy sisters is getting counseling?
Yeah, because they got emotional problems, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, y'all crazy.
Do they have a support system? Do they have a support group in place? Why do they put all their emotions stuff on their husband like that?
Hold on, I can't hear. I can't hear.
Question: is anybody answering?
Any of y'all having counseling?
No, I will be.
How many of y'all know you crazy though?
I will be having counseling, and I also give counseling.
But how many of y'all know you crazy?
We're not crazy.
Okay, you're not crazy. You just.
We're women.
Okay.
Wait, somebody said.
Hold on.
Sometimes crazy needs to be activated.
All right. No, I ain't gonna front. I feel a little confident when I got crazy woman with me. She'll ride with me.
Listen, you know, ain't nothing gonna go down when crazy is there.
You know, we was talking about getting counseling, not a brother ran. Listen, I got to put a disclaimer out there. I am against crazy being man or woman. All y'all together in one bunch. I don't want nothing to do with you.
What people need to understand is that their current crazy stems from something that's far out. And actually do get counseling to correct those things and work it, like start from the back, the tail end and work their way forward.
Can we explain what counseling really is? Because a lot of people have this misconception and misnomers. They don't really know what counseling is.
Honestly, it's just a conversation. It's nobody giving you answers. It's them helping you work your own stuff. So the counsel is constantly, it's coming from an unbiased source, yes. So the counseling, it'll just be, if you say something, they'll ask you, well, where do you think that comes from? And then you say something else, and they'll ask you another question, because what they're doing is they're helping you, like say it's a pile of dirt, they're helping you dig that hole. Like they're helping you to get down to the nitty gritty, yes, to get to the root things. Because a lot of us don't understand that it actually comes. So, a lot of people don't understand that a lot of those things come from childhood experience. And like a lot of people, there's a test called like the ACE test, so it's adverse childhood experiences. It's a test you can take. You can actually go online and take it, and if you score a certain number or higher, it shows all different kinds of things, like how you can have undiagnosed mental illness, or you can have actual health problems stemming from that stuff that you've been holding. And someone else said, you can get counseling, but mental illness actually needs to be diagnosed.
Okay. Okay, I just want to let you sisters know your little hooligan sons is down here tearing up.
Don't be talking about their babies.
Babies down here tearing up. Hope you got insurance. No, okay. Okay, so counseling, let's sum it up. This counseling that we're talking about is basically trained individuals who help you figure out your own answers you already pretty much know.
I'm sorry, what?
A counselor is somebody who's just trained in helping you answer the questions that you already know the answers to.
That you, or you might not even know the answer to yet, because the thing is, there's a lot of things that we suppress. So they'll help you to unlock your suppression box, basically, and then you can figure out all those answers. So you can spill all the stuff out on the table, like, you know, like a 1,000-piece puzzle. Yeah. You spill it all out on the table, and they'll help you spill out all the pieces and put it together.
Alhamdulillah. So we need to have counseling services in the mesh. Yeah. It's a must. Okay, and the email can't be all your counseling.
Well, and a
just
lot
let
of
y'all
people
know.
also don't know how to verbalize. Like, you might have the vocabulary, like you know the words, but if you were never taught how to express yourself, it's not going to come out.
Okay, that sounds good.
Hey, yo!
But someone emphasizing that mental illness needs to be diagnosed.
Okay. So I think one of the mental illnesses that we need to talk about is the fact that we keep repeating the same thing over and expecting these different results, right? So we sisters are marrying the same type of brothers and expecting this ninja to be some superhero when she knew from the beginning that he was crazy. And brothers are going out here getting with sisters, expecting them to be super demon, knowing darn well they just came off the streets. So what are we doing to change these false expectations and to actually start being real and start having more families in the masjid and marrying people in the masjid?
Honestly, more people just have to learn how to listen.
Learn how to what?
Listen.
Listen to who?
To each other. People don't know how to listen. Like everybody, you know, there's some people who just want to just dynamite a conversation, dynamite a relationship. Like you just want to be the ultimate, and you don't listen to the other person. So it's like you'll always end up in the same type of relationship because you'll always seek out the same person.
Okay. Can I ask some of the sisters a question? How many of you were married to men before, or are currently married to? I'm not gonna say currently, but I want to know the people who are single. Were married to a man, if you had a bad experience, who act like he owned you.
I was.
Now let me ask you this, sister, remain anonymous. We don't want brothers being embarrassed. How did he act like he owned you?
He just thought he was a know-it-all. Like, even it was times that one time that I did want to go like go to the masjid with him when he was like doing the class, and he was like, you know, no, he didn't want me to go, but he wanted to go to the masjid.
So he wanted to go to the masjid to teach sisters. Okay. He didn't want you blocking, basically. Okay. So he was blocking you from coming to the masjid.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there's your babies. There's your kids, trash and stuff.
Have a seat, bro.
I'm waiting to hear from anybody else who had it.
It was another sister who was just asking a question about the whole situation. She was like, I'm a sister. Why can't I go to the class? Why you going to the class to teach the sisters not to come?
Okay, so let me ask you this.
I was married to somebody who thought he owned me.
Okay, give me an example how he thought he owned you.
Well, no, not necessarily owned me, but he thought he made me. Like when it came to the beginning, my beginning stages of education with like going to school for phlebotomy, etc. Whatever I would do that was good, he would like try to try to say he made that happen for me. You know, I'm the one who put in the work for it.
So now in your success,
Here you go.
who gets the credit for that one? You know when I met you, you could barely read or write. Now look at you, master's degree, therapist. You welcome. You welcome. No, I'm just alhamdulillah. No, the reason I asked that question is because I see a lot of times in marriages or just in families in general, a lot of people resent each other. Children resent parents. Husbands resent wives. Wives resent their husbands because we don't know how to differentiate between love and care and like dominance, like where you feel as though you own me, as opposed to you have a responsibility when for example, the husband has a responsibility in his home in the sense that he's going to be questioned about his family on Yom Qiyam. But none of his wives or his children are going to be questioned about him, but he's going to be questioned about all of them. So men have a natural fear of of neglect when it comes to their family's fard obligations or obligations to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think sometimes when we don't have that discussion or we don't have that mutual knowledge, when everybody's not educated, on one side it will look like somebody is just trying to own someone, and a lot of relationships break up because of that. So I have to ask, how many sisters are experiencing something like that or have had, and you think, how serious do you think that is a scenario in our society right now?
I'm sorry, that was a really long question. I forgot what you said.
Okay, how many of y'all think is a problem? It's a major problem in our community that men or women are trying to act like they own each other and it's ruining our relationships.
It's definitely a problem. It's definitely a problem. Oh, maybe the mic does.
Okay. Now, what'd you say? What was your comment?
I said it's definitely a problem. Where'd you go? You disappeared for
No, I'm sorry. I had another question being posed. Okay, so how many sisters, I'm going to ask this for the brothers too. How many sisters have identified within themselves their own behaviors that they found to be incorrect, and they have made a great effort to change them within their new relationships?
Every last one of us up here nodding our head.
None of y'all, right? Y'all just going to be ninjas forever. So y'all ain't never done nothing wrong, huh?
I've corrected my behavior. I've tried.
Alhamdulillah. Allah reward your sister. Sister, I don't know. Stranger.
What's that?
I said, may Allah reward your sister that I don't know.
Amy.
Stranger, Amy.
Another sister said it's a work in progress.
What's that mean? You either doing it or you're not,
no,
sister.
That she's working on herself. I mean, everything in steps, right? You gotta crawl before you walk. You gotta walk before you run.
Well, wait a minute. Same for everybody right now. Part of the 12-step program.
Hold on, I couldn't hear her.
Okay.
She's working on herself based on what went wrong in her previous marriages.
Okay. So have you identified?
Have you identified those flaws?
Those flaws within yourself. You're part of the demise of the relationship, so to speak.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. That's what I'm talking about. And brothers, what about y'all?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Great husband has.
You said Bree's husband has. Let me see if the sister will attest to that.
Yeah.
You gonna co-sign that, sis?
Yeah. Your husband said that he's worked on his stuff and before. Oh, she agrees.
You lucked out, brother.
And that was with confidence. She said yes, he has.
And I think that man's a fellow electrician too. I think we all just a good breed electricians. Okay. We say Sabad, I got you on camera. No. I think we're gonna close out unless anybody has any questions or comments or shout outs. Scar's in the building, guys. He's famous.
Sister Helena said she would like to shout out Brother Hamza.
Okay, Brother Hamza.
Been with her for 22 years.
Dang. That's a long time.
Long time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sister Hadlia said shout out to all the brothers who provide for their families.
Jazakumullah khair.
You should shout out.
After you do
Hey, girl. Wait, is Scary down there? Shout out to Scary.
Scary's in the building.
Scary and Moab in the double digits now.
Uh-oh, how old are we? 10?
Hey.
Ooh.
Hey.
I remember y'all was
Mine is 10.
snot-nosed little babies.
What did you just say, sir? What's that?
You too.
Another sister said she wants to give a shout out to Allah. She said, Alhamdulillah for allowing her to get out of her first marriage that she was in and also her second.
Subhanallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. All right, so we're going to close out if nobody has anything else, inshallah. We love you all. We appreciate you coming out to family night, inshallah.
A sister said, excuse me, anybody looking for marriage?
Uh-oh. So it's on Facebook now. It's on live. Let me see if any of the brothers chime in. Brothers, sister over here looking for a husband. She said you got to be 6'3".
Hey, no.
Got to be rich.
Is that too big?
258.
She said no, we just not going to be 6'3".
$250,000 a year.
That's it.
All right, there's some brothers chiming in. They said they're looking for some sisters who got that bag.
You got you're
Hold on, let me read this. Who wants to fund his mixtape? That's what the brother said. Alhamdulillah.
The sister said, you mean your mixed up tape?
Yeah. It's about mixing that sheet tape. That's what it is. I'm about to sing. Alhamdulillah. Listen, we're gonna do this next time. We're gonna go live more often. We're gonna do this nice little conversation where we let the sisters vent pretty much and tear in the brothers. But we look forward to it. We thank you very much, everybody. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give everyone a safe journey home and to bless all the families that came out. Bless those who paid for and prepared the food. Alhamdulillah. And we'll see you next time. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.